For now, in the top right, representing Exxon, he is the Polish Protoss player in the red. It's Gerald, with the Stefano good luck have fun / name.
That a boy. And Gerald's opponent in the bottom left-hand side in the blue. One of our 2 Spanish representatives here at DreamHack EU. It is Souleer. Currently teamless, I believe, Grant. We confirmed that yesterday.
Yes, he did, yeah. Wizard Esports Club no longer using Souleer, but I believe he has some news to announce pretty soon, so I won't spam pick him up, teams.
Exciting stuff. So Souleer's one of these really interesting players, Grant. He reminds me a lot of some of our players from our last couple series today. The Vanyas, the Goblins of the world. Sort of this second wave, this new wave of really youthful, inexperienced EU players who are tearing things up right now and showing a lot of promise.
Yes.
Souleer doing really well in a couple of online tournaments last month, the month before, and squeaking his way in to this DreamHack qualifier. Now, I don't think he's a favorite to move out of this group, but I really hope that he can take a couple surprise wins, maybe knock somebody off the pedestal there, and keep things spicy here in Group C.
Yeah, I'd like to see this one go to 3 maps no matter what. Souleer yesterday, he really didn't give an account of himself that I believe was genuine to what he is capable of. This game we are seeing a standard hatch gas pool opening here from the Spaniard, but I'd like to see him really take it to his opponent and give Gerald a good fight. Now, I can't not talk about Gerald recently because he has been so bloody good, especially in all of his online cups and in the ladder. He's really hit a peak in his form, and I'm excited to see where he goes, because he's one of those players who I really think is starting to get onto that top Protoss level, where he'll be challenging the likes of Harstem, Goblin, those top, not quite at Showtime level yet, but certainly on his way.
Absolutely correct there. And he's one of the reasons, players like Gerald are one of those reasons that this Group C for me is one of the most interesting groups in the entire DreamHack EU group stage. Yeah, opening with that Stargate opener, by the way. Void Rays, question mark?
I certainly think the Void Ray opening is possible with a mouthful of water.
Man, I hope. Sorry for catching you. I see a question right in the middle as I was setting up like a big transition about talking about the groups. But Group C is one of these really interesting groups. For those of you who aren't checking it out, you can type !bracket in the chat to see what the groups look like. And Group C proves to be interesting. I'll read the names in order. Clem, Kubar, Mana, Sol, Geralt, Harstem, Skillus, and Souleer. I think there's going to be a lot of competition for those 2 and 3 spots in this group.
Yeah, I feel like the Protosses in this are all very, very similarly skilled, and the PvPs are going to have a big, big impact. I think you look at Harstem, and maybe he is a clear and away favourite of all of these Protosses. I really like this wall from Gerald here. Very, very cool. Complete wall, quite far away from your base. This is cool. Usually you see them wall off more in a straight line, parallel to your base. So I quite like this one. We see here the Oracle has...
Sorry, just to interrupt. That wall minimizes surface area on the cybernetic core, which is really smart. Go on.
Yeah. The Oracle has now popped out and is going to be making its way. Second Oracle on the way as well. So very traditional early Stargate opening here. It is, of course, the earliest Stargate you can do on your side of the map before Warp Gate even begins. So certainly looking to find some very quick damage as Spore's not yet down, Creighton.
Oh, Spore's not down at all. They're only just now getting that Overlord in. It's a normal Overlord timing, of course, 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes to move that Overlord in, but just a little bit behind it. He's going to pay the price here. 3 drones going down, but most importantly, the Oracle scaring, oh my god, 3 make it 4. Good save by Souleer there. But more importantly, the Oracle, of course, getting a decent scout on the natural on the 3rd base, seeing those timings, getting a queen count, and scaring the bejesus out of the Zerg player.
Yeah, and whilst the Oracle was good here, it didn't quite find the damage it could have. There was a little bit of mismicroing. With an Oracle, you want to be constantly moving and beaming, it's like almost stutter stepping with it. But he was moving a little bit more than he needed to. So we didn't get the perfect shots there, but still a great start. 6 drones have gone down in total, and Overlord as well. If we look at units lost, we can see, and a Ling just for good measure. And no units lost just yet from Gerald, who does manage to save both his Oracles, most importantly.
not just save both of his oracles, but look at that production tab, Grant, adding on a third oracle as well. So he is really investing very heavily. Ooh, a bit of a cute play there from Souleer, trying to block off his natural with an evolution chamber, but just getting a little bit wrong and allowing those adepts still in, causing so much consternation on the left side of the map here, even getting all the way up into the main base to keep this train a-rolling.
Yeah, and the Shade continues to be a real nuisance. We're certainly seeing some great harassment here from Gerald. Not perfect, but he's finding what he needs to find. This isn't the biggest commitment we've ever seen as one Oracle finally goes down. The second one as well will follow. Getting one pot shot off on the Queen here. But behind this, Forge on the way, Robo on the way, Twilight Council on the way, more and more Adepts on the way. The harassment isn't going to end just yet. I think Gerald knows he's found himself a bit of a sweet spot. He's already at 27 army supply to just the 9 of his opponent. We're seeing some overlords being added here. I wonder if Souleer's going to make a whole bunch of roaches soon.
Well, and that was my concern right now, is that Souleer's running into a problem that we see with a lot of Zerg players, especially more inexperienced ones, or maybe not as experienced in the higher levels of competition, where, sure, you could do this on the ladder. You can invest in a bunch of drones and start working on roach speed and +1 and everything, but you have got to be able to respond to stuff like big adept run-bys, and Souleer simply doesn't have anything to deal with this right now. Loki smokes Grant. This is a lot of damage.
Yeah, now this is pretty irreparable damage right now. There's enough Adepts here to start trading with the Queen and possibly even the Roach. Yeah, these are unupgraded Adepts as well. We do not even have the Resonating Glaive upgrades done, so this is just standard damage. And we see 24 workers go down, Creighton. That number still rising rapidly. Oh my lord, this is so bad right now for Souleer.
A terrible read, unfortunately, from our Spanish Zerg player, and he's not only a bad read technology-wise and not adjusting your play to make sure you can respond to this, but a bad response to the Adepts as well. Unable to keep up with that Adept pressure on 3 fronts. Souleer has to tap out, and Gerald from Team Exxon grabs game number 1.
That was rough, because behind that, oh my gosh, just look at that. Gerald never stopped producing workers. That wasn't an all-in build. The defense just wasn't quite there for Souleer. He didn't get the roaches out and split between his bases. He didn't have enough queens or lings to get any surrounds, and Gerald just goes. He just clicked A, and then he shaded around, and then everyone died.
You know, you hate to see it, Grant. We talk a lot about casters as the games that I get asked a lot, I don't know about you, but games that we love. You know, who do we cheer for? I always cheer for just a good game. And unfortunately, Souleer just didn't give us a great game there. Bad reads, bad responses. And hopefully he can pick himself back up here in game number 2, because even though he's now 0-3 in map score in this tournament, looking potentially at an 0-4 after day 2, I know he's a really, really good player.
Yeah.
Much better than he showed there in that game.
Yeah, and you have to. This is now a test of endurance and a test of mental fortitude here for Souleer, because you have to forget that happened. You have to push it out and pretend that never happened, and start concentrating on the only thing that matters right now, which is the game that you are in. And that is the game that we're going to get in right now, Creighton.
It absolutely is, Grant. And we should be ready to roll. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side in the blue. It's our Spanish Zerg player, currently teamless, looking for his first map win in DreamHack EU group stages. It is the one, the only, the Souleer.
And his opponent, leading the series 1-0 with some incredible multi-harassment with Adepts. He is the Red Protoss player representing Exxon and Poland. It's Gerald. That Exxon logo's nice. The DNA strand and the Zerg thing and the... Oh wait, it's all the different races, right?
Yeah, they fucking nailed it, didn't they?
That's sick.
It's amazing.
You dropped the first F-bomb.
Yes. It's not great logo design, but it's really good team name design, because it's not easy to recreate, which is generally what you want from a logo, but it's so sick as far as artwork goes. I'm not going to complain about it. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I really like it.
Oh yeah. So Grant, of these 4 groups, we talked a little bit yesterday about it, but what an odd distribution of not just racial distribution between the 4 groups, but also of national representation between the 4 groups as well. Group C, a particularly unusual group of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the 11 Protoss in the group stages here. The plurality of them, 5 of them here in Group C. And of our Polish players, of which there are only 4
3 of them.
Here in Group C.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Polish Protoss have always been a bit of a thing. They used to be some very good. It used to be the same with Polish Zergs when you had Nurtio as well as a laser, but now it's really the Polish Protosses that are powering through. Polish Terran as well. I mean, you got Seoul. Poland is the StarCraft country. I mean, and then you sit there and you think, is that because the biggest event possibly of the year is held in Katowice? It's highly possible. You know, it's so good to see what the infrastructure... Oh, no, Gerald. He's already dead. Don't do it.
Yeah, he's gonna do it. Last game we saw, of course, Gerald going for those of you wondering what Grant's all concerned about. Last game we saw Gerald going for not an all-in by any stretch of the imagination, not even resonating glaives on the Adepts, and not going for a big glaive Adept push, just doing it as sort of a follow-up to see if he can pressure Souleer, and Souleer just folding under that pressure, folding like a fitted sheet. And unfortunately, this game, it looks like Gerald is actually going to commit to this. There's still no Robo, but I imagine we'll see glaives coming out quite soon. If not, it'll be DTs, which is still very dangerous.
Yeah, very, very true. That is a possibility. I am expecting to see resonating glaives here from this. We see the Robo go down, and that should be glaives starting up any second now. There is also the possibility that it is an Archon drop or something along those lines, but with an Adept now being produced, the upgrade should be starting momentarily as the money for Gerald gets up and rolling, and it will finish at about... Oh, it is going to be DTs. Okay. So we are going to be seeing...
Go ahead, sorry.
No, we are going to be seeing a DT into Archon drop here, and if it catches your opponent off guard, if he is unprepared, which he isn't going to be, as Spore's already going down, it can be a killing move, but instead we're just going to see Archon drop pressure into a third, it looks like.
Yeah, only one Spore Crawler right now in the main. Of course, DT drops. Those Dark Templar usually hit at the third and or the natural. So we do need to see extra Spores going down quite soon from Souleer. I'm a bit concerned this could be a mistake, very similar to when like a Terran player is getting up to go +3/+3, and then they just forget about their +3 attack and instead just get one of their +3 upgrades. Yeah. But luckily, as I say it, Souleer, living 2 minutes in the future, hears me and drops down that Spore Crawler. Of course, it does mean the Archon drop, still a very real danger. And Gerald is very proficient with his Warp Prism play.
Yeah, he's certainly looking sharp today as well. You know, we can't criticize his gameplay. Now, the best thing that happened in Game 1 is that Souleer knew he took too much damage from Oracles, so he's adapted early and had those Spore Crawlers. That is going to save him from the DTs here. Bailing Nest on the way as well, very nice. You can even use them manually to get some damage on DTs if you have no vision.
Just going down. Oh no, Grant! I'm suddenly very, very worried for Souleer. As we said, a huge mistake.
He surrounded it. He surrounded it.
It's surrounded, but the DTs are still going to clear those queens away. They can still grab it.
Yeah, the Spore Crawler actually not being targeted just yet. Now it is going to be targeted, and that is the Spore Crawler gone. No lair, which means no overseers, and this third base is going to... Oh no, the lair is done, okay. Overseer transforming. We need to see some transfuses. We're not going to see them. The third base is going, and gone. And the DTs just load up. Get beamed up like Scotty, and we'll escape.
You know, Grant, StarCraft, I always say, is a game of milliseconds, where every decision you make has a knock-on effect. So you delay for 1 second now, it's gonna cause you damage, or 5 seconds of damage later in the game, and then 30 seconds of damage 10 minutes from now. Unfortunately for Souleer, he missed both of those timings just by a little bit. Very late on the lair for no overseers, and very late on that Spore Crawler for no additional damage. And now 4 Archons, and this is so much early game damage. Souleer's got what to respond to it? 26 Lings and some Queens? This is very already.
So hard to control though, because obviously only 2 Archons fit into a prism, so these Archons need to be juggled perfectly here. It's almost like they're immortals in this scenario when you're going for like a proxy Robo, where you cannot just load all of them up and get away. He's now going to go for a big warp in as well. We should see... Wow.
Yeah, he knows it.